I have the wonderful honor each year of introducing the winner of our Andrew E. Rice Award. I think most of you know that SID-Washington is the Washington chapter of the Society for International Development, or SID, which was founded 62 years ago in 1957 by Andy Rice, who many of you in this room knew, and who many credit with establishing the field of international development. Andy wanted people and organizations to network with one another and share information for the greater good. And I think he would be proud of our conference today. Each year we give an award named for Andy, the Rice Award, to recognize an outstanding young professional in international development who has shown exceptional leadership, innovation, impact, and commitment. I mentioned last year that we have started to receive more applications for this award from countries around the world, especially developing countries. And that's really exciting. We used to receive applications almost exclusively from the US, and now we receive most from other parts of the world on every continent. What's interesting is that this year's list of countries is actually really different from last year's, and 12 of the countries represented this year were not even in last year's pool. This year's applicants came from 22 countries, including Afghanistan, Brazil, Cambodia, Canada, Chad, the DRC, El Salvador, Ethiopia, France, Ghana, India, Jordan, Kenya, Lebanon, Myanmar, Nepal, Nigeria, Palestine, Uganda, the Ukraine, and the United States. And their work focused on a broad range of sectors and topics, including youth, women, healthcare, LGBTQI rights, agriculture, policy and law, education, technology and innovation, economic development, poverty, and the environment. And this makes it really hard to pick just one winner, because so many of the applicants are doing such important work in really different areas. So once again, because the applications were so impressive, we ended up selecting 2 honorable mention winners. John Mary Kavuma from Uganda for his creative approach to eliminating plastic waste. As founder and president of Upcycle Africa and Kamuli Fashionability, he said in his application that he declared a war on plastic in Uganda, Africa, and the world at large. And LGBTI activist Roberto Zapata from El Salvador, leader of Amatya El Salvador, for his tireless and innovative leadership and commitment to human rights. John Mary could not be here today, but we are delighted to have Roberto in the audience. And I hope that some of you can meet him this afternoon. And more information on both John Mary and Roberto is in your app and on our website, and you really should look and see what they have done because they're extraordinary. Our Rice Award Committee did not do this on purpose, but we realized that our 3 top candidates came from 3 different continents. John Mary from Africa, Roberto from Latin America, and our winner, who comes from Asia. And to tell you about our winner, I have asked a good friend of mine and a member of our Rice Award Selection Committee to join us today. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the son of SID founder Andy Rice, Will Rice.
Thank you very much, Catherine, for that introduction, and it's a great honor to be here. As Catherine mentioned, we on the Rice Award Committee have the privilege and burden of selecting a winner from a field that seems to grow stronger every year. To aid us on our work, we use a scoring sheet that measures accomplishment in half a dozen categories such as creativity and innovation, commitment to the ideals of development, and ultimate impact of a candidate's work. Most candidates are stronger in some categories, weaker in others. Our award winners' score sheet this year was remarkable for its strength across the board. Kanchan Amatya's accomplishments at such a young age are truly breathtaking, receiving awards from Forbes magazine, the Discovery Channel, and the Clinton Foundation, among many others. Founding a sustainable aquaculture enterprise in her native country of Nepal that empowers poor women in rural villages, representing youth, women, and her nation in various important initiatives of the United Nations. But perhaps even more impressive than her resume is her clear-eyed determination to make international development what it should be: self-directed, inclusive, sustainable. It's a goal and a confidence in achieving it that I think would have pleased my father and the award's namesake, Andrew E. Rice, very much. Therefore, it's my honor to present the 2019 Rice Award for Leadership and Innovation by a Young Professional in International Development to Kanchan Amatya.
A warm good afternoon to everyone. It is such an incredible honor to stand here in front of you all and receive this award of excellence in international development. Thank you all for celebrating this moment with me. What an incredible honor it is. First and foremost, I would like to pay my respect to Andrew E. Rice, after whom this award is named in recognition of the contribution he has made to development internationally and here in the US. Thank you, SIDS. Thank you, Catherine, from the bottom of my heart for having me here and giving me this amazing platform. This recognition is enormous for a girl like me who comes from the Himalayas. I feel like my journey has come to a full circle today. I'm a recipient of international aid myself, with my education being funded by an American philanthropist, Shelby Davis. This award depicts even more, and I'm emotional while I'm saying that, the power of educating women and girls and giving them a fair shot, a fair chance to unleash their true potential. As I accept this award today here in DC, I cannot forget the women and girls in my home country, Nepal, and around the world who are out of school, whose rights are violated, whose dignity is denied, and whose voices cannot be heard. I also cannot forget millions of women and girls who are marching on the streets right now, fighting for equality and for change. This award serves as a reminder that our united battle to create prosperity and equality for all is not yet won, but is worth pursuing. Growing up in my home country, Nepal, I experienced firsthand how my own community was plagued with complex and interconnected problems like poverty, food insecurity, youth migration, and climate change. I was born amidst Nepal's decade-long civil war that lasted until 2006, that claimed lives of thousands, forced children to become soldiers, and subjected thousands of women to sexual violence. During this period, I saw firsthand how my own country, Nepal, was so dependent on international aid. Instead of working on solving our problems, we mostly waited. We waited for AIDS agencies' support as merry beneficiaries. We passively received whatever assistance came our way, mostly poorly designed, poorly implemented, and costly projects that would only last for a year or two and then vanish. As I walked past empty school building with no students or trained teachers in villages, I wondered, what is the use of constructing school buildings if the community does not understand the importance of sending girls to school? It was then I realized that I had a choice. Either I accept the injustice or take change into my own hands. Today, rather than just giving food and temporary aid, my social enterprise Sustainable Fish Farming Initiative uses a community-centric model that equips rural farmers to start self-sustaining micro-enterprises that provides a sustainable supply of food for consumption, trade, and the sustainability of communities. These ventures have secured jobs, a sustainable food source, and most importantly, given a sense of independence to poor women farmers in Nepal for the very first time. Additionally, I've also been leading national and international efforts to uplift vulnerable women and girls of my community and elevate the issue of combating hunger and poverty in South Asia. My efforts have ranged from working with UN agencies to coordinate national efforts, addressing heads of states at the United Nations General Assembly, helping create an alliance of a network of more than 300 grassroots women's rights organizations from more than 53 countries to support their involvement in plethora of SDG-related decision-making processes, co-leading the Youth Assembly at the United Nations Resolution Committee that brought together thousands of young people's policy recommendations from across Asia, Africa, Europe, Middle East, and South America. And together with all these efforts, we are changing policies. Young people, we are changing laws and programs that no longer serve our community anymore. Today, reflecting back to my grassroots and international efforts, and as someone who has benefited from the international aid myself, I've realized that the development programs can no longer be delivered to people as packaged from outside. The solution needs to come from within these affected communities. And I cannot stress that more. For effective change to happen and last, we need programs that emerge from grassroots actors. We need more funders who invest in local leaders and recognize the strength that locally led organization and solution possess. As I speak here today, receiving this award, there is a moral crisis engulfing the world, a crisis of injustice, a crisis of inaction, and a crisis of silence. And we need to break that silence today. Our short-sighted quest and blind obsession for GDP growth is perpetuating human rights abuses against a majority of humanity. Global inequality is on the rise. Millions of indigenous people are being uprooted from their own land in the name of development projects. Climate change is today's most catastrophic reality, but still, in the face of so much chaos, I want to remain as positive as possible because I am fueled by the passion of the young people, of women and farmers that I have been privileged to meet and work with, and by their hope for peace, for justice, and for democracy. I'm strengthened today by each of them and also strengthened by each of your commitment. As the late Martin Luther King Jr. said so eloquently, there is no deficit in human resources. The deficit is in human will. This award certainly inspires me throughout my life as I carry the legacy of Andrew to redouble my own humble efforts to cultivate such human will, especially in my home country, Nepal. And I really hope that all of you will also find some creative ways to join me. Thank you so much once again for this honor. Thank you.